the thing to remind folks of is that no matter your educational level, you were born resilient. It's in your DNA. Some things weren't strengthened or completely were neglected because you had to survive, but you do have the capacity. And we're going to just work on this. We're going to work on this together, and we're going to find some things that are easy. Some are going to be not so easy, but we're going to make progress. And that's generally the technique that I use there.
Can I follow up? So as you're teaching some of these 10 qualities of a resilient individual, do you teach them through, then allow for time after, or do you just sort of go very slowly and teaching? And I know you talked about doing like 12-week groups or 12-month groups or things like that, but do you just kind of move along?
For me, I have a 5-part framework. It's called the Cornerstone Process. And so we go through 5 steps. It starts off with awareness, as you can imagine. Awareness is always number 1. Then into acceptance, accountability, inspired action, and appreciation. All of these are outlined in my book, The Real Self-Love Handbook. And so I let people know that for some people, they'll be in step 1 for weeks, for months. It's not necessarily going to be a linear process, but we start with awareness. And there are, I'll get into some other ones. There are several different versions of getting at self-awareness. And so for me, just remember my bias here. My work came from recognizing that fundamentally people needed a foundation of self-love. If they didn't have that self-acceptance, that unconditional self-acceptance, it would be really hard for them to accept health and happiness. So my orientation is always like, well, to love yourself, you have to know yourself. Like, but who are you really? Not just did you get programmed to be? And so there's a long list, and I can't share every single one of the assessments, but I'm giving you some of the ones that you might not have already used, and I'm willing to hear from others who want more. Like Muriel, I see that you've typed in the chat, trauma is held in the body, and the body reacts much slower. So quick access, cognitive, yes, but trauma is not cognitive. Yeah, like how many people have been in 12-step or have been in therapy and they know intellectually their trauma, their triggers, but it hasn't sunk into a heart, soul, and body level. And so it is going to be layered. And to Lisa's point, if you've grown up, Lisa writes, as someone who grew up with so much projected onto me, I have a huge activation with taking external assessments. And so you're getting to know your clients, right? And you figure out maybe this person's going to need more somatic-based